Big day today. The ceiling is going up. Just had a break in the rain, so hopefully that'll hold. The first step is to feed through the wires and the lights and get those secured in place, and then we'll secure the wires actually back on the back of the ceiling and have them feed all the way over to this section over here, which is where the main section of wiring for the lights comes up and joins that junction box. 6 lights to put in. It's pretty quick to do really. You just feed the light through and then screw it into place with the little cap thingy and the diffuser. So just as an example, put the light through behind, pop it through the gap, chuck on the cap thingy. Oops. Nice. That'll do. Right, one done. 5 more to go.
Welcome to episode number 14 of the Ultimate Stealth Fan Build. In this episode, we're installing the lights, throwing up the ceiling, and finishing off the doors. So hit subscribe, strap in, and enjoy.
Right, there we go, 6 lights installed into the ceiling panel. I think that's pretty much it. I just need to tuck away some of that wiring there, tuck away this wiring here, and then we'll line the ceiling up, ready to start screwing in. I'm going to do is quickly attempt while it's raining to slide it out and slide it back in onto the paracord that I've kept up there, just to get it in place. Then we can attach the lights and then work out where we're going to be screwing the roof into, the ceiling into. Snap the paracord. Right, you can see we are up in position, hanging on paracord. Well, not quite in position, but you know, nearly there. Now I'm just going to line it all up and start marking out some screw holes, and then get the little pilot hole recess thingy to make the recesses for the screws to go in. All right, nothing's screwed down yet. I'm about 2 centimeters out of its like final position, but because it's slightly offset and I'm dangling this on paracord, it kind of swings back into the middle, so I'm not going to be able to align it perfectly. One thing I'm going to do is kind of force in the fan shroud into position, get that locked in to the fan itself, and then screw that in with 1 or 2 screws just to hold it in place. And that means that I know the fan will be aligned, and then from there I can basically just like force the rest and screw the rest in place. I think the back's going to be the easiest to screw first, because there's a quite clear batten, and then once I've done that, I'll work my way forwards, aligning it as I go. So let's just quickly screw in this fan shroud. Okay, fan shroud is locked into place. Hopefully you can see that there, 3 screws. So that means it's aligned there. Now I'm going to have to take a slight spin on this front section I'm gonna have to force the back end in, but yeah, we'll give it a go. So hopefully you can see this. This section here is a wooden beam underneath the carpet, and it runs the full length just down the back there. You can probably see it. It's the bit before the white. So that's what I'll be screwing this into. It's one of those roof battens that we secured in an early episode. You can see there, thickness there. It's 25mm, so plenty to screw into. I'm going to start from the middle, pilot hole, and then work my way out probably one side so I can get it nice and smooth and even. Holy shit, it worked. Here I've just started from this point halfway, and it actually has worked. It's solid over here, that's for sure. I reckon I'm going to get some bend and flex in the ceiling, but it's not the worst thing. Obviously the ceiling is a weird shape, so, and some of this insulation I think is going to push it down a little bit in certain areas, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's just screw down this side and then we'll work our way forwards. Right, we've done the rear beam, this first beam and the second beam. Now we're on to the last beam and then the front portion after that as well. It's looking good, solid. I mean, obviously I'm going to use filler and black paint for the screw heads, the recessed screw heads, to hide those, but apart from that, it's looking pretty cool. Pleased with it. But just inhaled a load of sawdust. Yeah, I'm good. Right, we are so close, halfway through the final beam. Yeah, you can see this one's kind of almost tucked behind the headliner. The bulkhead will be going across this anyway, so that'll be nice and tidy. It'll come up to about probably here. Yeah, so you won't actually see any of this, but yeah, there we go anyway. Right, yeah, last few screws, we'll get this screwed in and then I'll show you the final product. As you can probably see out this side here, there is about 4 inches of ceiling left, which is good, intentional. I'm either going to panel that the same as this, or potentially just have cabinets running the full length, kind of upper cabinets, like storage, which means then I don't need to actually panel this properly. I can just box it off with wood. I will see. However, this also means I have access to the wiring lights and the fan lights wires still, so that is good, because obviously I need to just plug those in, tidy the wires up. However, I've got no power yet to actually power them to test them out, so here's hoping they work straight away when I plug them into a battery, so I don't want to have to take this ceiling down again. Now, I'm not entirely sure what to do next. The hurdle of getting the ceiling out of the way has taken up a lot of time. There's a few bits to just finish off, obviously filler in the holes. However, today I did order a table saw. Been a bit cheeky, about £400, £450 for a decent table saw. Kind of 2 reasons. One is I wanted to use it for the cabinets and the bed and things like that, to cut the wood nice and straight. And 2, I figured, yeah, I may as well just buy a decent tool for cutting wood. Would use it a lot, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to get straighter cuts than the circular saw or the jigsaw for the cabinets and for other projects as well. I think it'll be pretty useful. So hopefully it's one of those, like, you know, once or twice in a lifetime tools that you buy and just have and use for a long time. So yeah, that's arriving tomorrow. What this means is I'll probably save doing the bulkhead today until I get that table saw, because I'll be able to get nice straight cuts. I've got a little bit of wood for the bulkhead, but I need to buy a bit more as well, so that is another task. It has stopped raining, however everything's a bit damp, so I don't really want to fabric the doors just yet. I had some more fabric arrive yesterday. The carpet, slightly annoying, they didn't have charcoal colour, which is what I've used so far. They only have black or anthracite. Anthracite is way too light, black is quite dark. However, I think it'll be okay. It's kind of like the two-tone colour scheme in here. You've got black on the back of the seats there. You've got the black velvet panel up there, and everything else so far is anthracite. I think it'll be okay on the doors, having black doors, because you don't really see them. Like the tailgate's up, and then when you close it, it's behind the cabinets and the bed. The lower panel I've already done in charcoal for the door and that door, so that kind of two-tone effect will look hopefully quite good. You've got black on the anthracite, which should give a similar effect actually to this velvet with the black velvet with the anthracite on, like, next to it. So I think it will match well. Okay, 3 parts to panelling the sliding door. The first part is already done. This is the lower panel, obviously not attached in yet, but that drops down. It's going to get screwed in place there. Looks quite tidy. Second step, all the way around the edge, basically right up to this rubber seal. Second lot of rubber seal. Let's see if you can see the profile on this. There you go. It's like a U-shaped seal. That is going to get stuck all the way around the edge, glued and screwed into place, flat up against the existing seal, like that. But obviously on the actual door itself, not on the seal. Reason 4 is this yellow is all going to be carpeted with this black carpet, or possibly the remainder of the charcoal carpet. We can then slot the edges of that glued on carpet into the seal, and it should give it a nice tidy edge without loads of just, you know, carpet edge flapping around. So I'm going to run that full seal top to bottom along the door. The final step will be across here. I'm going to have a like another panel similar to that. I'm going to use that same fabric on here, so we've kind of got like a matching fabric upper section. I think it will look better if I can panel this with anthracite, with charcoal, if possible. What I've done is just wedged it in between the handle, just to give me a bit of kind of support while I work with it. I'm going to put one screw in up here just before the corner turn starts, so that it will dangle fully down. I can then glue it in and screw it in down the bottom, and that should give me enough hold for the glue to dry. As you can see there, screw on the inside temporarily, just allows me to hang the strip, let it glue. We'll just use up the remainder of this sticks like shit, which it doesn't stick too great, but hopefully it'll be alright. Perfect. As you can see here, nicely glued down, held in place with some duct tape. It's not going anywhere. Shut the door. See, nice and flush against the existing rubber. So yeah, up to here will be carpet, and then it'll just be rubber. It's nice, gives us a bit of an extra seal. Looks good. Okay, it's the next day. Wait till it's obviously dried. The sealant is very, very stuck on, which is good. I'm going to just remove the duct tape that held it all down, all the way along. Right, I'm reasonably pleased with that. There's only 2 spots that need some extra glue. Hopefully you can see the seal, the rubber seal that is now running around the actual door itself. It's not actually really meant to be a seal, it's just meant to tidy up the edges of the carpet, because as you can see underneath here, I think I showed you, we'll be able to slot the carpet into the rubber seal, like push it in, and that will mean there's no flappy edges of carpet kind of hanging out. To attach the panel here, the upper panel, we've already done the lower panel, I'm going to be fixing a screw through the panel into the metal, and then there's nothing to attach it to higher up. So what I'm going to have to do is create some 45-degree type angle things for the wood to screw into. This is just an offcut with a 45-degree cut, so you can see the angle there kind of fits. Get a piece basically going along there and on the other side for the actual sheet to screw into. I'm going to use my new toy that's arrived today, the table saw. I've tried it out, ridiculously good cut. You can see just along that top bit of this old piece of timber that I was just practicing on, and a nice clean 45-degree cut there. Right, so I've cut each of those, well, that thing in half to give me 2 sections of 45-degree angle wood. I think it's just easy to show you, but basically I'll be screwing that wood into there, creating a reasonably flat surface for the actual sheet wood to screw into. We want 4 pilot holes here and here, and here and here. That's to get the screws right into the metal. This out right and out left is what's facing outwards. That's where the wood's going to screw into. Just 1 screw down the middle there. That'll happen once the board's actually in place. Okay, panel going on. That's there. Screw up there. Cool. Okay, so I've lined these both these panels up. I'm just holding them at the moment, just to kind of get an idea of what it looks like. There's actually not much silver and yellow showing, so I was going to use the carpet the entire door and then screw the panels in and obviously have those carpeted. However, there is hardly any metal and silver showing, so what I'm going to do is use offcuts of the charcoal carpet from the other carpeting, and basically just use that to like, I've got 4 strips that I think should be long enough to have one coming across here, one down there, one up the top and one down the other side, and then along the bottom if I need it. Okay, I thought I had a lot more charcoal left than I did, so it's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. Should be able to cover this door. Most of it's going to be panelled anyway, but yeah, I've already done the panelling for the lower portion. I've just made a mark on the fabric, a cut mark where I need to cut along here, and then I just need to make a vertical one. Okay, we've cut that into a more manageable shape. what I'm going to do now is just start gluing it on and trim it after, and then I can tuck it into the rubber. However, I'm just thinking, to attach a panel here, I'm going to need wooden supports. I've got wooden supports, I need fabric over the supports so they are hidden, which means I'm going to have to make the supports first and make the panel first before I fabric this. We're going backwards. Right, at least make these damn supports and then maybe we can fabric it, we'll see. Right guys, I'm going to leave this there for tonight. I've made a big mess. Got to clean it up in the morning when it's light. However, we did manage to do the frame. Took off the insulation, battened it up there, T-section, popping the insulation back on. That should give me enough purchase for the board to stick on. We're going to tidy this up and finish up for the day, grab some dinner, late dinner, and then we'll come at this when it's light. G'day guys, how we doing? I've just spent a bit of time off camera as the GoPro was out of battery, starting to fabric up the side door, just using some of the scrap charcoal fabric. It's all reasonably good. There's only actually going to be a little bit of the yellow showing really, because it's going to have 2 panels on it. A little bit of a pain on this section here. You probably can't see that, but it's there's 2 kind of bumps. I had to cut out a section and stick in another bit. I'm hoping you won't be able to see it once I get some like white spirit solvent just to get rid of the glue, because obviously there's like glue on the handles and stuff and it's over spilled onto some of the fabric. Clear off the glue and I think it should look pretty seamless, but yeah, wait and see. What I'm going to do is just trim it nice and close to the rubber, leaving about 1 centimetre, kind of just enough to basically poke inside the seal. I think I saw it on one person's YouTube. I've not really seen it on any others, and I've watched a million hours of van content, so see how it goes. Now what I want is a nice thick flathead screwdriver because I don't want to tear the material, and then what we'll do is basically just push the fabric into it. I'll try and get a close-up in a second of me doing it, but we'll see if it works. I don't know if it will or not. Ooh, yeah. It works. And that looks tidy. Tidy as fuck. Now because this is black on black, it's super difficult to see in the camera. However, using my flash, let's see if I can do this with 2 hands. So here you've got the seal. That's the fabric pushed inside the seal, and that's obviously the fabric not in the seal. So what I'm just doing, see if I can do this with 1 hand, is get the fabric in there. There we go, 1 hand's okay. Just pushing it in, creates a nice seal. Let's see if I can open the door and show you. No, it's getting too bright, I think. There we go. So you can see this section here, that's finished, I guess. Yeah, it looks way tidier, so carry on doing it and then show you a little bit more once I've done some more. You can see the seal really nice and tidy, stopping the carpet from the yellow. Yeah, just much smoother versus, like, you know, obviously the scrappy carpet edges. On that side, nice and smooth. On that side, obviously everything's covered with glue at the moment, so I will use the white spirit in a bit when I've done it to clear off all the glue off all the plastic and everything else and the fabric and stuff. So quick pause on the gluing and fabric. I'm just going to use a cloth and some white spirit to take off the glue off the plastic. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, you kind of can. Yeah, so you can see the difference between that. It's got glue spray on, that is now nearly clean. So yeah, it works. Basically just going to wipe down all the plastic, and I'm hoping it removes glue off the carpet as well without destroying the carpet. I think it does. Very good. Right, let's have a quick look. Oh yes, it's nice. Obviously, there's a brush now. Corners are good. Let's hide the imperfection there. That'll be behind the cabinet. Lovely. Good morning, guys. We have sunshine, which means it's a sawing day today. So, bulkhead is getting done later. However, first we're going to saw up the final wall panel. I say wall panel, door panel, which is going to be going on the sliding door here. Obviously, yesterday we fabricated it and whatnot, tucked it into the rubber. Still got a little bit left to do. Still got to tidy up like the glue and stuff like that. Finish that portion on that side. But first, I just want to get this panel sawed while we put some sun, and then we'll be able to stick the panels to this and this. Then it is on to the fun stuff. The cabinets, the bulkhead, the L-shape sofa / bed, and electronics and things like that, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, that's also when the bank will take the hit as well with the cost of particularly the electronics. I think it's gonna be about $1.5 grand for the Renogy system that I'm gonna go for. Solar power, DC to DC charger, probably their new one, the 50 amp new one, 200 or 300 amp battery, the water heater system, water tanks, etc. Water tanks are like 100 quid each, so no, more than that, 150 quid. It's a 100 litre tank, so not cheap, but fun. Yeah, so what I'm doing now is I've basically just measured an approximate square for this. It's going to obviously have curved corners, the square being 100 centimetres by 55 centimetres, which gives a couple of centimetres overlap. And then I'll be trimming it down to the right size and kind of shape, because it's a little bit curved, funny shape. Then we'll go from there. We'll be screwing that into these battens that I put in yesterday behind the carpet. I'm using the thinner plywood, so there's going to be a bit of flex. So I might need to just work something out there to make sure it doesn't flex too much, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, so let's do this. So what I'm doing now is just eyeballing the approximate cuts to just start fitting the panel into the van, and we'll take it back off and keep doing it until we get a nice accurate fit. Just eyeballing it, marking up roughly where the cut is, doing it, putting it back, checking it again, marking it, etc. Right, that's not terrible for a first fit actually. Still quite tight around here. It's going to need another centimetre or so off. A tad close to the rubber down there. Going to take more of that corner, a little bit off, probably more on the top. Right, we are cooking today. It's about 7 iterations of the scribing, and it's pretty much perfect fit. Quite thin wood, so it's flexing. However, once it's screwed in, I'll give it a nice curve and it'll be solid in there. What I am going to do though is put a couple of, or maybe like one long strip or 2 long strips along the battens on the inside, just to push it out a little bit, because I think that's a little bit too much like flex inwards. I don't want to like damage the board when I screw it in. So I'm just going to add a strip of plywood across there and a strip of plywood across there to give the this stuff, you know, it sticks out about a centimetre more, and I think that'll be perfect. I'm quite enjoying doing this build. I'm actually learning a lot of skills, particularly around vehicles, taking the stuff apart that I didn't know how to do before, or just never really thought, right, I could fucking do that. And then obviously lots of random bits like, you know, upholstering stuff and yeah, all sorts of stuff. Obviously more woodwork skills. Definitely recommend people do it and just throw themselves in and just learn stuff from YouTube basically. It's one nicely foamed board, same detail. We'll do the quilted fabric the same way, lay it down on top, cut it out, glue it on, and then that is the final board. Oh baby. Is that final panel done? Looks pretty good. Nearly perfect. Let's get this screwed into place. Two screws in, looks good. I don't know why the original panel was sloped that way, because it kind of looks a little bit odd with that sloped panel, but it is what it is. Obviously can't go back now, because this upper panel wouldn't have been sloped, so who knows. Anyway, I'll put one more screw in up the top here, we'll put one down here and one down here, and I think that should be okay. I don't want to put too much screws into the door. As you can see here, we've obviously done the roof, the lights, the fan, obviously all the insulation, the floor, etc., the insulation walls, sound deadening, carpeting the columns and the roof, paneling and carpeting the lower panel with the auto carpet, foam behind it, double stitch velvet with foam behind it as well up here. This is going to be good because this is against where the sofa, L-shaped sofa bed is going to be, so you want nice soft backing there. Obviously there's going to be cushions as well, but yeah, is what it is. And as we move in, we've got the sliding door, same vibe, velveted, panelled, foam backing, lower carpet. I've still got a little bit of things to do to tidy up this square. You see ever so slightly the yellow pushing through, so I need to sort that out somehow. And it's gluing, just finishing up some of the rubber seal gluing, so that's still there. Fabric, carpet fabric up there down that column.